What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I making this video today to explain to you what Bitcoin is. Why do we need it and what it is. This is an animated video by a channel called 21 Million TV. But this one I'm getting ready to show you, I'm going to react to, was made in the summer of 2021. Now, I started getting into Bitcoin early 2021. I'm the class of 2021. And this right here is a Bitcoin round. I had a subscriber ask me how it looks, and here it is. Really like this one. I make these videos about Bitcoin, guys, not to sell you on Bitcoin or get you to buy it or whatever. I'm just letting you know from a silver stacker's perspective how important it is to have digital money, and also for Bitcoiners how important it is to have physical money as well. But they're both hard money, and we need them both. So we're gonna go through this video from 21 Million TV about why Bitcoin is important and exactly what it is. So let's take a look.
By now, almost everyone has heard of Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean most people know what it is. The lack of informed criticism coming from the mainstream is a reminder of just how new Bitcoin really is. Being born in just 2009, it is understandable that most people struggle to grasp Bitcoin's significance. Almost none of the groundbreaking technologies that we take for granted today were immediately embraced. A short list of inventions and ideas that were misunderstood and ridiculed early on include the telephone, the airplane, the computer, the TV, the internet, the automobile, and even the bicycle. But history shows that nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Bitcoin's time has come. Those who refuse to learn and adapt will be left behind, but those who invest the time to educate themselves will be rewarded.
Yeah, it's very difficult for people to accept new technology. They talk about that in Bitcoin evangelism, about all the new technologies. And again, I'm 48 years old, and I've seen a lot of this new technology in my lifetime. When the internet came out, when Amazon came out, Netflix, all these different things came out, people weren't ready for them because they were living in one system, but they weren't ready for the next system. You know what I mean? So again, the things that I've seen with money and information and technology is crazy with the credit cards and the phones, just zapping something to pay for it. It's incredible, man, especially with the cell phones.
Whether you are in charge of a corporation or small business, a leader of a city, state, or nation, or just an everyday person, an understanding of Bitcoin is one of the most valuable assets to have in the modern economy. So back to the original question, what is Bitcoin? There are many different answers to this question, but the most basic is this: Bitcoin is money.
That's exactly what it is. It's money. The United States has the US dollar. Canada has their money. Everybody has their different currency in their country. But the internet is all over the world. And the internet's money is Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin is. It's a lot of different things. But again, the United States has the US dollar. Russian has the ruble. All these countries have different forms of money. But the internet's form of money is Bitcoin.
To understand what Bitcoin is, it is necessary to first understand what money is. Money is a useful technology that serves three basic functions. It acts as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value.
I love that, man. Medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. That's how I judge based on if it's a good money of those three things. And I look at the fiat currency, and it's not a good store of value. It's a medium of exchange, and it's a unit of account, which you'll get into in a little bit. But a store of value, you guys already know, man. You put $10 under a mattress, and 10 years later, what's that $10 going to buy you? Not as much as it did 10 years earlier. It's absolutely crazy.
As a medium of exchange, money acts as the bridge between buyers and sellers. A good medium of exchange enables economic growth by allowing trade to occur between buyers and sellers, regardless of the relationship between them. As a unit of account, money allows for easy calculation of prices in an economy. Without a standard unit of account, it would be necessary to engage in the time-consuming process of exchange rate conversions. As a store of value, money allows people to defer the fruits of their labor into the future. The act of sacrificing immediate consumption for future consumption is what has enabled the construction of modern civilization. A good store of value incentivizes long-term thinking and investing. As a medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value, money provides benefits to both the individual and the economy as a whole. But not all money is created equal. Throughout history, societies in different geographic locations used different goods for money depending on what was available to them. Some examples of primitive money include rye stones from the Micronesian island of Yap, agri beads from Western Africa, and seashells called wampum from North America. While seemingly very different from one another, these three monies had one thing in common: scarcity.
When I look back on history, I love reading history, learning about it. And when you look at it from a money perspective or a money lens, it's crazy how those people back then, they judged money or goods or services based on that money they used on scarcity, on hardness, how hard it is to get, how scarce it is, and things like that. It's crazy that even though and those people that didn't have any kind of technology that we have now, and the internet and all that, they valued scarcity and the hardness of money. And the harder it is, or the scarcer it is, the more valuable it is.
However, this scarcity was no match for modern technology. Once it became possible to mass produce them, the value of each money plummeted. It is for this reason that over time gold emerged as the world's dominant money. Increasing the supply of gold requires massive capital expenditure, keeping the inflation rate relatively low. Gold naturally outlasted primitive forms of money due to its superior qualities of durability, recognizability, divisibility, and most of all, scarcity. As global trade expanded, it became advantageous for countries to converge on a common medium of exchange. By the end of the 19th century, gold was recognized as money in nearly every country in the world. But gold wasn't perfect. Over time, societies found it more efficient to exchange paper notes redeemable in gold. These notes were lighter, more easily divisible, and just an all-around more practical way of conducting business. At any time, someone could take their paper note to the bank and exchange it for gold.
I'm not going to lie. I would have loved to live back in those times where you had some dollars and it was backed by gold. You know what I mean? You can go to the bank anytime and turn it in and get some gold. A lot of people don't realize that it's not backed by anything anymore. They think it is, but the only thing it's backed by is confidence in our military, of course.
Fast forward to 1944 at the Bretton Woods Agreement, and the US dollar became the world reserve currency. Now instead of backing their currencies with gold, countries backed their currencies with US dollars, which were in turn backed by gold. Until 1971. With more dollars in circulation than gold in the vault, US President Richard Nixon officially ended the US dollar's convertibility to gold. Since 1971, the entire world has been engaging in one of the greatest monetary experiments in history: completely unbacked fiat money. Fiat, a word of Latin origin, means by decree. Fiat money, then, does not have value because it was chosen naturally by the market, but because it has been decreed to have value by a central authority.
Now, remember earlier we were talking about the market, or the people back in the days, choosing a hard money. The market always chooses what's best. This is the first time in history. This is the distinction between the two monies, between gold and fiat currency, like you just said. The market picked gold and the other monies before that because it was hard and it was scarce, right? It was very hard to get, very scarce. But fiat currency was picked by, the government, because they lied to us and nobody knew. If you ask the person on the street today, what is money? They're going to pull out a dollar bill or a quarter or whatever and say that is money. And it's not. That right there, I want you to rewind that part and listen to that again, because the market didn't choose the paper money. The government did. And that is so, so important.
On October 31st, 2008, monetary history changed forever when a programmer by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto published the Bitcoin white paper.
To my old heads on this channel, you guys know I tell you this 100 times. Read the Bitcoin white paper. And if you're new to this channel and you're just coming across it because you see the silver and stuff like that, if you want to learn about Bitcoin, go to Google, type in Bitcoin white paper, and read it. It's very important.
The Bitcoin network went live in 2009 and went largely unnoticed for the first few years of its existence. But just over a decade into its life, it has grown into a global network used by hundreds of millions of people to store almost $1 trillion worth of value. Never before has a money been created or discovered that is more capable of fulfilling the three functions of money than Bitcoin. As a unit of account, Bitcoin offers nearly infinite divisibility. With each coin being divisible into 100 million units called sats, Bitcoin allows for prices to be denominated more precisely than any other form of money that has come before it.
So that's very important too. You know, we as precious metal stackers, we got fractional silver. I got some halves right here. You know, we got quarter ounces, we got constitutional dimes and stuff like that. We have fractions, but not to that extent, right? So if you're thinking about buying Bitcoin, but then you look at the price, go, oh, that's just too much. 27,000, 26,000, 28,000 is too much. Again, like he said, you can buy Satoshis, 100 million Satoshis in every Bitcoin. Nothing in this world, as far as money is concerned, is more divisible than that, right? You can literally go on a Bitcoin exchange, pay $1 in today's fiat currency and get about 3,800 Satoshis, which in one day would be worth a lot. If you don't believe me, go to my other videos and watch that. But that's very, very important to know that if you're new to Bitcoin, you don't have to buy a full coin. You can buy Satoshis.
As a medium of exchange, Bitcoin has the ability to connect buyers and sellers from anywhere on Earth. By speaking a common language, ideas are able to circulate and multiply spontaneously within a society, promoting innovation and prosperity. Money can be thought of as a form of nonverbal language which connects buyers and sellers through the mechanism of price. By speaking the same monetary language, goods and services are more easily circulated throughout an economy, leading to a more prosperous society for all.
And that's also very important. Having a money, unlike the physical, right? You have a digital money that's outside the system. That's very important. It's decentralized with no third parties in the middle. It's not a PayPal, it's not a Venmo or a Cash App. That's the big difference. It doesn't need anybody to settle the transaction. You can buy or sell or whatever you want or give or receive money to anybody, anytime in the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, anytime you want to anybody you want with nobody's permission. Permissionless money. It is absolutely incredible. And that's so important to have a medium of exchange that can be sent to someone in a split second for very, very cheap, by the way. When I say cheap, I'm talking about not even pennies, fractions of a penny at the speed of light. It's incredible.
A common, open medium of exchange removes the barriers for trade between nations. By utilizing Bitcoin, a freelance graphic designer in Nigeria can offer his services to clients in New York or London without relying on any bank and without incurring currency conversion fees. Bitcoin also offers hope to many families in developing countries who rely on remittances. Today, billions of dollars of remittances to the poorest countries are lost in fees due to middlemen and currency conversions. As an open global monetary network, Bitcoin fixes this. It's important to note that while Bitcoin's base layer restricts its transaction capacity in exchange for security and decentralization, second layer solutions are capable of scaling Bitcoin to millions of transactions per second. One such example is the Lightning Network, a payment layer built on top of Bitcoin, which is already being used by thousands and soon millions of people in El Salvador as a medium of exchange.
Living in a first world country, we are very, very spoiled, and we don't even realize how good we have it when we have banks and a fiat currency is not dying by the week or the day or the month or whatever. Bitcoin fixes a lot of problems that these third world countries, they suffer, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have banks. A lot of people are living in a currency that is dying by the second. Yeah, in the United States, we're the number one. We are the world reserve currency. We have the number one fiat currency out of all the 180 in the world. We do. You know what I mean? And we're very spoiled by that. But people don't understand what they need until they need it. You know what I mean? And there's people all over the world, again, that are unbanked and are going through inflation, superinflation, and hyperinflation that are using Bitcoin with the Lightning Network on top of that. And I'll get into that in another video. It's a layer on top of Bitcoin that makes it very, very fast. Like I said, it moves things in the speed of light that you can buy and transact things, and you can have your own bank on your phone.
As a store of value, Bitcoin offers what no other form of money can: absolute scarcity. A foundational aspect of Bitcoin is the fact that no more than 21 million Bitcoins will ever exist. Unlike gold, the rate at which technology progresses has no ability to inflate the supply of Bitcoin beyond 21 million. Not only does technological progress not have the power to debase Bitcoin, but neither do politicians or central bankers. From the Roman Empire to Weimar Germany to present-day Venezuela, history is littered with examples of governments debasing their currencies to the point of collapse. As of May 2021, there are over 20 countries with official annual price inflation rates of over 10%. Citizens of these countries are watching their savings disappear before their eyes. Bitcoin gives every person the opportunity to store their hard-earned wealth in a money that cannot be debased. Even the strongest fiat currencies are not safe from debasement. Over the past 100 years, the US dollar has lost 93% of its value. Trillions of dollars have entered circulation since just 2020. While dollars remain a convenient unit of account and medium of exchange, dollars are quickly losing their ability to store value. This is why we counterintuitively saw unprecedented booms in both the stock and real estate markets after government-imposed lockdowns of 2020 began. As more dollars entered circulation, people began to flee dollars in favor of alternative, scarce stores of value.
Yeah, we know the story, man. This is why we need to take the money out of human beings' hands and not allow them to print the money. Since 1913, you know what happened with the Fed. And like you said, over the last 100 years and up to 2020, and again, this was recorded in summer of 2021. It's even worse now towards the end or the fourth quarter of 2023. And that's why I love Bitcoin, because it's deflationary instead of inflationary. You can't print anymore. It's 21 million is built into the code. The longer time span goes, the more and more it's going to be worth. And the more time span goes with the fiat currency, it's going to be worse and worse and worse and be worth less and less and less.
Some people believe that when the fiat experiment ends, the world will return to a gold standard. This idea makes about as much sense as ditching cars and returning to the horse and buggy. Gold was the premier monetary asset throughout history for the same reason that the horse and buggy was the primary mode of transportation throughout history. It was the best option available. Now that automobiles exist, despite a history spanning thousands of years, riding by horseback is mostly a recreational activity in the modern world. And now that Bitcoin exists, despite its storied history, gold will take its place as an important but now outdated tool of civilization.
Again, guys, when you hear those things about gold, it's not a diss against gold. Gold was great. It still is. But it's an outdated form of money because now there's a digital, better form of money than that. That's why I don't personally have any gold. And again, I'm not telling anybody to sell their gold or anything like that. But in my opinion, that's what I'm betting on. But it's very hard to judge a new system based on an old system. That's why when you saw the horse and carriage and the car, or the horse and carriage and a train, or a horse by itself in a car, that's why they measured how fast or how strong those those cars and trains were based on the horsepower, right? Same thing with fiat currency or Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new system in an old system, right? Before the old system dies, and I believe it will die. I don't know when, the fiat currency system, that is. We are basing how many US dollars, aka horses, it takes to buy, or how much power that train or car has, aka what Bitcoin is worth. Again, guys, do not judge a new system based on the old one.
Because that's all money is, after all, a tool. Money by itself is not valuable. What is valuable is what money can do for the individual and for the economy. And never before in the history of civilization has a money offered more potential for both the sovereignty of the individual and for the advancement of the economy than Bitcoin.
Absolutely, the sovereignty of the individual, freedom. That's what my channel called. Jerry Loves Freedom. And again, I don't care what it is, as long as it's not illegal. That gives me the freedom. That's why I have this hard physical money here. The stuff that they're not making anymore, stuff that really means something to me. Like I got another Bitcoin round that I got a long time ago. I have two of these. And this one is 1 out of 10,000. I have 2 out of 10,000. There's one, and then here's the other one. But again, guys, the reason I make these videos is not to convince you to buy Bitcoin. I'm just letting you know that you have another option, and I believe it's a good tool in your tool chest or tool belt or toolbox or whatever you want to do, as far as fighting inflation and keeping your money intact, or your savings or your energy intact. Again, my daughter, she's 22 years old. She wants to be able to save money and stuff like that. She's not interested in these coins and in bars and stuff like that. They like the digital stuff and they live in a digital world. Again, read the Bitcoin white paper, learn about it as much as you can. Again, I'm just like a farmer. I'm just planting a seed in your head. I'm not telling anybody to sell their precious metals. Obviously, I still have mine. I was told the other day that I'm not a real physical silver stacker because I like, I like Bitcoin, but I like a little bit of common sense thinking when it comes to money. You know what I mean? And this is a collection to me. I'm not using it as money per se. I'm just using it as like an old train set or baseball cards or some collectibles or stuff. I like it because it's just it's a great hobby for me. I like it because it does hold its value, in my opinion, and they're not making any more of it. It's the scarcity and the hardness of it. I just like having something physical in my hands. But for the new age and for the new world, the way to go is Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.